So the next thing you need to know about this one is few note things about certain proving type of problems. They might ask you prove whether the two vectors are equal, or check whether the two vectors are equal. And similarly, they can ask you another type of question: check whether the two given vectors are collinear or not. We have already known the geometric meaning of collinear, correct? No? If two vectors are parallel to the same line, then it is said to be collinear. Okay, geometrically I can tell, okay, two vectors are parallel to each other, they are collinear. But how can I solve it in terms of a problem? If two vectors are given in this form, and how can I find out whether those two vectors are collinear or not? We don't know. We cannot plot a vector randomly in three-dimensional space and tell, okay, they are collinear. We cannot do that. So we are going to find out in the form of a calculation. Okay, that is, so imagine a vector, any random vector, can be written as a multiple of scalar and another vector. Okay, as a multiple of a scalar and another vector. Then those two vectors can be called as collinear. Okay, yeah, okay, we might not understand very clearly now. I will explain it in a little more further. That is, assume one of the vector is given in this form, the same pattern, this itself, that A vector is A1 I cap, A2 j cap and A3 k cap. B vector is B1 I cap, B2 j cap and B3 k cap. Okay, so these two general vectors I will take. Then what I'll do is I will take this form, whatever I told you, the condition for collinearity. So I can think about this as a condition for collinearity. Okay, that is in Arabic, but it's okay. The condition for collinearity, it is English only, okay, but it looks like Arabic, but no problem. Fine. So condition for collinearity. So we can see that in this is B vector, I will just name it like this, just substitute this B vector value here, this one. Lambda is any random constant which we don't know in this, and A vector is this one. Fine. So B vector is equal to lambda into any vector. I have recently just found out lambda into any vector is nothing but lambda of each individual components present in it. Okay. So after I multiply lambda to each of the components multiplied here, now we can see that these two vectors are equal. Yes, these two vectors are equal, which means their corresponding components are also equal. I can write them something like this: B1 is equal to lambda into A1, comma B2 is equal to lambda into A2. Also B3 is equal to lambda into A3. Correct? These two vectors are equal vectors. The components also are equal. That is by using this particular thing. That is saying that if and only if their corresponding components are equal, then it is equal vectors. Here the vectors are equal, therefore their components are equal. So in this, I can tell that using the first condition, I can get a equation for this one saying that B1 by A1 is equal to lambda. Agree? B1 by A1 is equal to lambda, and similarly B2 by A2 is also equal to that lambda, and B3 by A3 is also equal to the same lambda. Correct? Which means these three ratios of the corresponding components are there, no? They are equal to a constant, or they are equal to each other again. So which means I can write an equation. I'll write it small. Maybe you can pause the video and take a screenshot and zoom it, whatever is convenient for you all. But it is very simple to remember as well. B1 by A1 is equal to B2 by A2 is equal to B3 by A3. So which is equal to a constant, but I will not write that like this. So this is the condition for finding out whether the two vectors are collinear or not. What you will do? You need not do all these things. This is how I derived the formula. That's it. Okay. So now, two vectors will be given to me. If you have to find out whether it is collinear or not, what I'll do is I'll simply divide this by this, this by this, and this by this, and check whether all the three ratios are same or not. If the ratios are same, then it is collinear. If the ratios are not same, then it is not collinear. Okay. So when we'll come across the problems, you'll understand it is very easy concept. So it is nothing great about it. So first condition for collinearity means one of the vectors should be written in the form of a multiple of a scalar of another vector. And you can also prove it when their components is given as their ratios are equal or ratios are same. So if you prove that, then it is the two vectors can be proved or said that it is collinear. Fine. The next thing you need to know is about the something very important concept which is usually asked for 1 mark in 2 marks, about direction ratios. That is nothing but the scalar components of a given vector is nothing but also called as direction ratios, which I have already told you earlier in the first thing. Scalar components, rectangular components, another name for that is nothing but direction ratios. Usually these two names are not much used. Okay, so simply they will give you a vector and ask you to find out what are the direction ratios. Simply write the numbers. So if I tell what are the direction ratios of this R vector, it is nothing but 2, 4, 3 over. That is my answer for direction ratios. Clear? So direction ratios are simply nothing but the scalar components of a given vector, or the rectangular components, or simply the numbers of the given vector is nothing but direction ratios. Do not get confused with the direction cosines. Okay, that is very important confusion everybody is going to have. Direction ratios, when they ask for direction ratios, most of the students write it is at direction cosines. And when they ask for direction cosines, everybody will write it for direction ratios. Do not make that mistake. And the next itself is going to come about the direction cosines, which we have already learned: cos alpha, cos beta and cos gamma. So direction ratio, direction cosine is nothing but cosine of the angle made by the position vector with respect to x-axis, y-axis and z-axis respectively. Okay, so that is nothing but the direction cosines. Direction cosine is also has another name like L, M and N. Correct? We have learned this much. Now another formula for a direction cosine, that is for the first cos alpha, is nothing but the first component of a given vector divided by its own magnitude. Magnitude, you know what is it? All the components square and add them and take a square root. Okay, here for example, if I am taking this itself as the A vector is A1, I will write it here once again clearly for you all. A vector is nothing but A1 I cap plus A2 j cap plus A3 k cap. Magnitude of A is nothing but square root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square. Fine. So this I'll make use in this one, that is A1 by A magnitude, this one is nothing but cos alpha. A2 by the magnitude, this one is nothing but cos beta. A3 by this one is nothing but the cos gamma. So three direction cosines can be found out using this formula. First component by magnitude, second component by magnitude and third component by magnitude. So we get the three direction cosines of a given vector, and when you substitute these three direction cosines in a vector, you will get something like this. See, simply what you do is you just divide throughout by its own magnitude. A vector is given here. Okay, this is the vector. I will divide throughout that by its own magnitude. So this one, when you divide throughout by its own magnitude, what will be this formula? This formula we have come across before. Yes, this is the formula for unit vector. This is the formula for my unit vector. Unit vector of any particular thing is nothing but vector divided by magnitude itself. Please go through the previous video. In that you will understand unit vector is nothing but this, that is A vector divided by magnitude of A vector. So this unit vector will have its components something like this: I cap, then A2 by A j cap, then A3 by A cap. So these are the components of unit vector, or in other words, I can simply write it as cos alpha I cap plus cos beta j cap and cos gamma. Yes. Also, I can write it in another form. Sorry, this is not A vector, this is A cap. A. Also, L I cap, M j cap, and N A cap. So you can see that if you need to find out the direction cosines of a vector, convert that vector into its unit vector, and the component of unit vector is nothing but the direction cosines. Okay, so direction cosines are just the component divided by its magnitude, and then if you convert a given vector into a unit vector, the components of that unit vector is nothing but the direction cosine of that vector. So always remember, the scalar components of a unit vector is direction cosine of that particular vector. Clear? So direction ratios are directly the components of a given vector, whereas direction cosines are the components of the unit vector of that vector. Okay, so that is the major difference between these two things, and there is these two are the very commonly asked questions, and very less marks, yes, but these two are very much needed in the understanding of calculation. Okay, so please pause the video or rewind the video, understand these basic concepts, because from now on we will move on to the numerical part of the chapter. Okay, slowly we'll move on to the numerical part. So please note down all things correctly, and any doubts please let me know, and we clear out all the doubts in this basics, and then we can move on to the topics given in the textbook. Yes, thank you.